How's it going, folks? Welcome to another fun at-home table read. Tonight, we're doing one of my favorite, not even one of, I think my absolute favorite guilty pleasure movie from high school. The first of a two-parter, so come back in a couple days for part two. But we're doing Grindhouse. Tonight, Planet Terror, the half directed by Robert Rodriguez. This movie is, like I said, I love this movie. It's so wildly over the top, and I can't wait to see how that translates in the script. But let's jump right into introducing ourselves. My name's Logan. I'm going to be doing the action description tonight.
Nicole, I'll be Cherry Darling.
I'm George. I'll be El Ray.
Hi, I'm Anne. I'll be Dr. Dakota.
I'm Travis, and I'm the sheriff, Sheriff Hugh.
Damn, okay, for the audience, I told him how to pronounce that before we started, and he still can't get it. Sheriff Hague.
Oh, Hague.
Hague.
I'm sorry, Sheriff
Good
Hague.
Lord. Well, I'm action, so you'll hear it a lot. Anyway, away we go. Title card. Attention. The following film may contain one or more missing story reels. Sorry for the inconvenience. Theater management. Titles: Grindhouse, Project Terror. Interior: Skip's Go 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 Dance Club, stage night. Over the titles, we are close on a pair of red go-go boots as the woman wearing them strides confidently into the well-worn stage. This is Cherry, a go-go dancer. She's too good at what she does, meaning she should think about doing something else. Oddly, tears run down her face throughout her dance. Side note, the next time Cherry does this dance, people will die. Interior: Skip's Go 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 Dance Club backstage night. We follow her boss, Skip, as he walks through the backstage dressing area. Girls are getting dressed, undressed. He stops at two girls making out.
Oh, come on, girls. If you're going to do that shit, do it on stage.
He shakes his head as the girls move on. He continues through the room.
Smoking hot.
He walks over to Cherry, who is wiping herself down, cleaning the invisible layer of scum off her skin. We can see Skip in the mirror reflection.
Cherry, darling, I've told you too many fucking times. You can't be up there crying and all that shit. People don't want to see that. They just don't want to see it.
Cherry puts her hair into a ponytail and slips on a guy's motorcycle jacket.
You know what a go-go dance is?
Useless talent number 12.
No, it's a happy dance. You get up there, you dance happy. It's go-go, not cry.
Yeah, I quit.
You say that at least one night a week.
This time I mean it. I need a dramatic change in my life.
Skip counts out her money.
Well, that's funny because I'm the one who could do that for you.
If you could do that, I'd work for free.
She takes her money.
You've always been funny, like that Chris Rock, only prettier. Bring that on the stage. Laugh and the world laughs with you. Cry and you cry alone.
As Skip rambles on, Cherry stares at her reflection in the mirror, doesn't like what she sees, grabs her things.
Goodbye, Skip.
Cherry slams the door.
Don't you need a ride?
Skip finds that odd.
Never did that before.
Exterior: highway night. Cherry is walking along the highway. Her heels click against the asphalt. Closer on Cherry as she hears something. She scans the darkness behind her. Everything's quiet. She walks. Suddenly, a thunderous convoy of military vehicles brushes by her, splashing muddy water. She looks up and sees a turban on one of the passengers. Her foot hits a pothole and she falls over, hitting the ground. She tumbles to the side of the road, falling onto a broken bottle.
Asshat!
We follow the trucks past a worn sign that reads Military Base, 2 miles. Exterior: Old Army Base, tarmac, night. Romey is wheeling a military-style holder with chemical tanks attached out in front of an abandoned biochemical division hangar. He shields himself from the blinding headlights screeching his way. The army vehicles squeal to a halt around Romey. Abby, wearing a turban and a suit, steps out of the first vehicle. He speaks to an unseen person in the front seat. This person is Muldoon, and right now he wears a gas mask. His eyes seem to glow a sick pale color. He takes a breath from his breather and his eyes go back to normal.
We hear it. I'll handle this.
Abby steps out of the shadows to face Romey, his partner, and the one in charge of tonight's exchange. An empty cage is torn open nearby. Romey's men are around him, but we sense their loyalty is with Abby.
Hey, Abby.
Heard you had some trouble, Romney. I just wanted to make sure you were all right.
Romey's eyes, he eyes the situation suspiciously. His own henchmen have already surrounded him. Abby just watches. If his face were a clock, it'd read 0.
You gonna tell me what happened?
They escaped.
Abby sees the torn open cage.
All 3?
I don't know how, Abby. I'm serious. They got out before I could do anything. Couldn't do anything.
Abby's still on 0.
Sorry, Romey, but I just don't trust you anymore, and you know the rules. Hell, you wrote them.
A henchman hands Abby a strange clear glass jug. It's full of spherical objects floating in a murky liquid. Looks like pickled eggs.
I want you out of the business.
I'm gone, Abby. You'll never see me again.
Not so fast.
Romey is backing up.
I also want your balls.
No, Abby, there's nothing I can do.
I want them now, Romey.
Romey
Romey.
floating sphericals in the jar. Tears stream down his face. He now knows those aren't pickled eggs.
I'm really kind of attached to him, Abby.
Abby tosses a mean-looking blade at Romey. Romey catches it.
I was real attached to my specimens, sweetheart, and now they're out roaming the countryside doing God knows what.
Romey looks at the sharp-bladed thing in his hand. He cries.
Whack him clean off and toss him over.
I can't, Abby.
Abby
No.
nods at the henchman.
Abby, no.
They move in.
No. There's more. There's a lot more you won't need, Abby. I can get you all you'll ever need.
The henchmen take Romey down, hard. Push in on Abby as he impassively watches Romey get cut from the team. We hear the sounds of flesh ripping, but it's suddenly drowned out by a screeching sound. Abby turns. We see the soldiers in the vehicles. They have their masks on their faces, and their tanks turn red. They shut off their tanks, cutting off the sound. They remove their masks. The main one steps forward into the light. This is Lieutenant Muldoon.
Where's the shit?
Right there, the deal's still good.
Nope. I want all of it. Now. All that he was talking about.
Abby pulls his popper and starts firing. Muldoon dives out of the way, taking out several of Abby's flankmen. The military vehicles advance on Abby and his men. One of the vehicles hits Abby and sends him crashing into the henchman holding the goodie jar. The jar breaks open, spilling the balls all over the asphalt. Abby tumbles into the mess on the ground, face down. Balls spread all around him in a pool. A few plump ones dangle from Abby's face. Muldoon walks up as his men kill more of Abby's henchmen.
Looks like I got you by the balls, Abby.
Abby coughs blood and struggles with the pain.
So I'll ask you one more time. Where's the shit?
We see Muldoon's face start to bubble and distort. Abby pulls out his gun and fires at Romey's supply rack, exploding it and sending a wave of gas everywhere. Some of Abby's men are standing near it and immediately are affected, becoming strange fleshy masses before falling over into a pile of blood and pus. A few others run off like mutant freaks into the night, screeching and hollering. Muldoon's soldiers stop what they're doing and walk in front of the emitting gas. Like junkies, they stand in front of it, breathing it all in. As much as their lungs will hold. Muldoon follows them. Abby sees this and sees the gas going into the air.
Oh, fuck.
Interior, exterior, military vehicle, highway, night. Abby grabs a vehicle and drives away, fast. Abby looks in his rearview mirror, making sure he left everything behind. One of his comrades, not looking so hot, is climbing up his car behind him. He reacts and swerves his car, trying to knock it off the back. He almost sideswipes a silver Volvo, which swerves and pulls into exterior JT's Bone Shack night. The overheated silver and rust Volvo clatters its way to the gas pumps of a gas station / barbecue joint called the Bone Shack. JT, proprietor, walks outside while watching while he stirs something in a white kitchen bucket. Tammy steps out of a ragged car. She pops the hood as steam billows out. Man, get that thing away from the pumps! Tammy grabs a bucket from her car and heads over.
It's just overheated.
Tammy starts pumping a bucket full of water into the from the faucet next to JT.
Need to get to town. It's just a stripped radiator cap. Water leaks as soon as it heats up. No pressure.
JT nods his head and goes back inside as Tammy finishes filling the bucket. Tammy fills the radiator to the rim. She replaces the shoddy cap. Water spurts out almost immediately. Cherry is walking up the road. She passes Tammy at the pumps. Tammy eyes her, sees her wounded leg.
Are you okay?
Oh, I'm just Cherry.
I'll be right in. Have a seat wherever you want. Cherry goes into the building. JT hands Tammy a gallon of locally produced drinking water. Here, take this with you.
Not your good spring water.
Ain't nothing good about it. Bottle it myself, sell it right here in the store. I get it out of the hose, and you can taste the difference between this and the toilet, and you can eat my lunch. Tammy accepts the jug and shuts the hood.
Thanks, JT.
We're serving inside tonight. Best barbecue in Texas. Round the clock. She peers inside the white bucket he's stirring. Looks like blood.
I gotta go.
JT looks at her suspiciously, untrusting. He gets in her car and pulls away very fast. JT stares as he pulls out a sloppy rib bone from the mixing bucket and nibbles on it. JT looks at his watch. Close up on the digital readout as it hits 8 o'clock. But it's not JT's watch. We're now in interior Block and Dakota's room, night. The alarm clock blares. The nightstand light clicks on. William Block lifts his head from its anchored position and shuts the alarm off. Beside him, his wife Dakota does the same. He throws his feet over the side of the bed. Her too. Their backs face each other. Open the shades, William. Get some light in here. Dakota stumbles over to the heavy shades, the kind that keep all rays of light out. She whips them open. The pale glow of the full moon bathes her face in light. She squints at its brightness. We realize it's 8 p.m., not 8 a.m.
Nice night.
Dakota stares out into the night. Her day is just beginning. Make some coffee. Dakota turns as we see the haze of the chemical drift across the moon as it sweeps through town. Interior Dakota kitchen, night. Dakota's in the kitchen on her phone, talking to the babysitter and serving dinner to her son, Tony.
I couldn't get off work this week, but you only have to stay till 10. And I'll be here at 10 to pick up Tony.
Tony, 6 years old, sits at the kitchen table eating a frozen dinner. He's playing with action figures, one alien, one human. The alien bites the human's head.
I'm gonna eat your brains and gain your knowledge.
What did I tell you? No playing with toys at the table. Didn't I tell you that?
While arguing with the babysitter, Dakota's typing into a PDA. Her message says, I think he knows. Please hurry, baby.
There's a packed suitcase under his bed. Give it to Tony to take with him when my friend picks him up.
Block walks in.
I'll leave him watching TV, but you need to be here in the next 20 minutes. Thank you.
Good evening, Dada.
Yeah, let's hope so, son. A tense moment passes between Dakota and Block. And say a prayer for your old man. No dead bodies for Dad tonight. Tony clasps his hand together.
No dead bodies for Dad tonight. Amen.
Who's that you're talking to?
Babysitter. She's on her way.
Block nods, then notices his wife slipping her Palm Pilot back into her purse. She reaches over to turn on the sink faucet. Interior, JT's diner, women's room, night. Close on a faucet turning on. Cherry's in the bathroom, washing off her bloody leg. She pulls a shard of glass out of it. Exterior, Ray's diner, night. Ray, early 30s, parks his Ray's wreckage truck outside of JT's. He walks up the stairs towards the bone shack. He enters. Interior, JT's diner, night.
How's it going, JT? Still open, I see.
Oh, yeah. All night. Ray takes a seat at the counter. He's the only one there, it seems.
Cup of coffee and some cigarettes.
JT tosses him an open bag. Free of charge. Tonight's a special night. Camera pushes in slowly on Ray. He doesn't know the weight of such words yet. Neither does JT.
Yeah, what's so special about it?
Been open 25 years.
Good things usually die.
JT passes Ray his coffee and they toast each other with their cups.
Why didn't you throw a party?
I did. See the balloons? Ray looks around. A few misshapen balloons float above the empty seats. You're the second person to show up.
Who's the first?
JT points behind Ray. Ray turns around and lights a cigarette. In the booth, and partially obscured by the booth wall, sits Cherry. Just the sight of her hits Ray hard. I don't know. Must be passing through. Seems only outsiders eat here. Ray takes his cup and walks over to the booth.
I eat here, JT.
Yeah, you sure do. Don't choke on all that food you're eating. Wray studies the girl at the booth. He smiles.
Hello, Bonita.
Cherry doesn't turn around. She's staring out the window.
I don't go by that name anymore.
Why not?
She turns to him.
Because it's the name you gave me.
Ever become that fancy doctor?
Never did.
Thought for sure you would. Talked about it enough.
That's the problem with goals. They become the thing you talk about instead of the thing you do.
Wray sits at her table.
Is that my jacket?
She realizes she's still wearing it.
Yes.
I looked for it. 2 weeks.
How long did you look for me?
The jacket belonged to me. You didn't. So now what are you doing?
There's no reason she should tell him, which is probably why she does.
I'm gonna be a stand-up comedian.
Really?
She nods. It's the truth.
You're not funny.
No shit. That's why I've been trying to tell everybody, but they all think I'm hysterical.
But you're not.
You're such a fucking prick.
I'm just the only person who would have the balls to tell you the truth.
Thanks. Now what the fuck am I gonna do? I believed everybody else, and I've already booked shows in town.
That sucks. Really?
Look, fucko. There's a difference between being frank and being a dick.
Say fuck a lot. Do you like fuck? Why do comedians have to say fuck all the time?
Fuck off.
She turns back to the window. Wray nods. Stands.
It was really good seeing you.
She flips on the bird without looking at him. We can only see her face in the window reflection now.
What name do you go by now, in case I want to catch your show?
Cherry. Cherry darling.
Sounds like a stripper.
No. It sounds like a go-go dancer. There's a fucking difference.
You'll always be bonita to me.
That name is a knife in her heart.
I need a ride. What do you say, El Rey?
Wray can see the tear in her eyes.
I'll give you a ride.
Reaches for the door. Cut to interior hospital intro night. The auto doors open and Dr. Block and Dr. Dakota enter the hospital together.
Bye, Bill.
Don't you mean see you later?
Of course.
As they're greeted by staff, they go their separate ways. Block walks over to the ER. Joe, an old friend, stands in the doorway clutching his arm. Doc puts a classic glass thermometer in his mouth like a toothpick, a ritual. All right, Joe, what are you doing here?
Wife's looking good there, Block.
Block realizes he's talking about Dakota. Yeah, she is, huh? What happened to your arm?
Got bit.
He lifts Joe's hand off the forearm, revealing a gaping rip in the skin. Bit? Bit by what?
You wouldn't believe me if I told you.
Cut to interior hospital, Joe's exam room, night. Block is running a test on the bite. Thermometer still in his mouth. Dr. Felix is in the room as well, looking up diseases on a computer.
Can't you just sew it up?
Yeah, normally I would. But I've been doing something to stop the bleeding. He examines it closer by pulling a second light over. Only problem is, this one doesn't bleed. Dr. Felix is not finding a match, but we're getting an eyeful of some pretty fucked up diseases.
Oh shit, check this out. When this place was still a military hospital, this one guy came back from Iraq with this.
Dr. Felix shows them a computer screen. A horrific melted dick. Sores all over it.
Chronic herpetic lesion. When he urinated, it came out through all these holes here like a fountain.
Joe wants to pass out.
How'd you treat it?
Doc and Felix make the dread chop motion at the same time.
Well, fuck that. I was never in Iraq.
Good for you. The shit they spread around there, you wouldn't believe. Swear to God, I got these Iraqi eyeballs a friend of mine brought back to run tests on, but he never did. Completely milked over. Mustard gas does that to the eyes. Crazy, huh? They're still in my fridge, actually.
Bothfly, you think?
Viral coliform lesion.
Necrotizing fasciitis over here. Block examines it closer.
Well, what is it?
Fucked up is what it is.
Can't find anything like it in the system. It's almost an accelerated combination of a variety of viral infections. That looks like gout.
He clicks by a particularly gnarly disease photo. Joe reacts with disgust. Block takes out Joe's electronic thermometer, reads it. It's running a temperature of 105.
Is that bad?
It's high.
That is 108. You could go into seizures, become psychotic, finally keel over, probably.
Doc Block goes back to Joe with a tongue stick. Say, Joe opens his mouth. An ugly, diseased, serrated tongue sticks out. Block stumbles back out of his chair at the sight. Oh, Jesus!
Ooh, black tongue, nice.
Block tugs on it and touches it, then remembers his glove and puts it on.
All abscesses should be drained, period.
Block presses at the pus ball. His glasses fall over his face.
Blah, blah, blah.
Shut up, Joe. Squeeze, pop, splat. The sit hisses glasses, splattering across the lenses. Block flinches, then realizes his glasses kept his eyes clean. He calls Dakota. Bring your needles, baby. Right now. Interior hospital, Dakota's prep room, night. Dakota stops what she's doing and grabs her kit. She also puts an extra dangerous-looking silver metal syringe on a leg strap under her skirt.
We should quarantine the room.
Block nods. Joe can't believe his ears. Now, when did you say you got this bite?
Just now?
Okay. See this? Shows advanced edges of gangrene and epidermal rot.
What do you mean?
And this. Over here, more swelling of the tissue and the lack of any type of circulation. See, you're telling me that you just got this bite.
I did. 30 minutes ago.
Yeah, what I'm seeing is a deep impact wound with several vitals and secondary bacterials, and that by the accumulation of denuded tissue with the incision marks indicates that you've had this bite for over 14 days. Could that be possible?
14 days? No way. I mean, what's today?
Today's Wednesday, the 15th. Doc Felix is outside the door of the exam room, pulling a curtain across it. Joe tries to put the pieces together. He's overwhelmed. Of April.
Does this mean I'm going to need a tetanus shot?
Block looks at Doc Felix. Felix gives him the nod. Gotta lose the arm, Joe.
What? What do you mean? Lose the arm?
Yeah, I'm sorry, but this thing is spreading all the way up to your shoulder, and if we don't sever it now, it'll take over your chest, and we can't very well cut that off, can we? Joe is perplexed. Dakota walks in, and Felix whispers in her ear that they'll have to do what they'll have to do to Joe. Joe, you know my wife, Dakota?
Hi, Joe. And I'm going to give you a very strong anesthetic so you don't feel anything during the procedure.
Joe is barely listening. He's still mouthing pathetic protests to losing the arm. Dakota sits and pets his hand. She has a little pocket protector in her shirt, only instead of holding pens, it holds 3 different hypodermic needles, yellow, blue, and red.
Now these guys here are my friends.
She pulls out the yellow one and stabs it into his arm.
This bad boy is just to take the sting off. Feeling all right, Joe?
Joe is so beyond this world he can't think. Dakota tosses a needle in the red trash can and pulls out number 2, blue.
This one here, you'll barely feel. That means the first one's already taking hold. See how fast my friends work?
Joe nods slowly.
It's a heavy dose of vitamin K. It'll clot your blood quickly, so when we take off the arm, there's no messy cleanup afterwards.
She tosses that one aside and then pulls out a third, red.
And after this one,
Stab. She looks to make sure Block isn't listening.
you'll never see me again.
Joe's eyes are starting to close against his will. We see his vision of Dakota blurring out and starting to spin as the image brightens. Cut to exterior highway, Tammy's car, side of the road, night. A bright headlight dimming at every turn of the cranky key. That same silver and rust Volvo sits dead on the side of the road. its flickering headlight shining on a sign that says Military Base, 2 miles. The radio is still playing, Jungle Julia on Austin Hot Wax 505. Her voice purrs over the speakers as she struggles to get the car going. Tammy is inside the car trying to turn it over. It answers with a pathetic click.
Well, I'll be God fucking damned.
She shuts off the radio. She checks her Palm Pilot. It says, I think he knows. Please hurry, baby. She breathes out a calming breath. Now what the fuck? Shot cut to a popping hood. She checks the radiator. Cool to the touch. Now her flashlight blinks on and off, on its last legs.
God damn it.
The occasional passing car illuminates the world. Then it's back to pitch black dead night. She hits her flashlight again, then hears its echo off in the woods. At least she thinks it's the echo. She slams her door and hurriedly walks back up the highway, her dying flashlight barely a flicker as the lights in the path for her feet. She hears the echo again, only she didn't make a corresponding sound. She stops and listens. Okay. She walks a little faster, only now she's hearing mumblings, maybe voices. She begins a nice, easy jog. Nothing but the wind, she tells herself. She trips over a ditch and falls face down on the gravel shoulder. Her flashlight lies dead somewhere. Another echo. Fuck this. A car approaches and Tammy runs out onto the highway, waving her arms. The car lights are so bright in this pitch-black night that all we see is Tammy's silhouette as it passes her up. Tammy, alone on the middle of the dark highway. Just her and those sounds that seem to be growing behind her. She runs. Another car in the far distance rushes towards her. The headlights again silhouette Tammy as she waves her arms more frantically than before. This time, the passing light reveals something behind her. Tammy is running now. The next car's lights grow over her petrified and contorted face. We see the shapes move in behind her as the car passes. Gone. Pitch black screaming. The next vehicle reveals nothing but a silhouette of several human-looking shapes crouching over a prone body in the middle of the highway. Now a truck approaches. The headlights illuminate the shapes dragging the carcass off the highway. We see this first in silhouette, then from the point of view of the passengers in the truck. Interior, exterior, Ray's truck, night. We cut inside the passing truck to find out it's Ray and Cherry, riding in his wrecker truck down the highway towards town.
See that?
What was it?
Picking up roadkill, probably to eat it.
They're gonna eat that?
I read a statistic that said the eating of venison has risen 30% in the last few years. 60% of that is from roadkill. People hit a deer, they pick it up. We got a lot of them around here.
They pass several deer grazing at the side of the road.
Hunting season opens up soon. That'll take care of some of this overpopulation. Otherwise, they're just wandering out into the road and getting hit.
He turns on his passive infrared system he added to the truck's dash. It projects an infrared readout onto a section of his windshield.
That's why I got this passive infrared system installed.
Have you ever hit a deer?
No, but I sure as hell plan to. If you're driving out here at 70 miles an hour and a deer darts out in front of you, you brake or swerve, you'll just kill yourself.
So what do you do?
The infrared system can see several deer crossing the road way up ahead. He accelerates.
Speed up. If the deer moves out of your way, no worries. But if it doesn't, what you do is just pick it up like this, send it flying away from you. Might do a little damage to your front guard, but at least you're not spinning around out there on the shoulder.
That's awful.
He takes his foot off the gas. The truck slows a little.
Not really. It's a clear case of you or him.
Or her.
Ray watches her instead of the road for a beat. That's all it takes. A shape darts out into the highway in front of them. Ray doesn't speed up or hit it. Instead, he does exactly what he just said he should not do. He swerves violently. They hit the shoulder and the tires eat gravel. He tries to control the wheel, but he swerves back onto the highway. His wheels grip asphalt and they flip. They spin and roll over and over, breaking through the deer crossing sign and finally coming to rest at the in a heap on the roadside. Interior, exterior, Ray's overturned truck, night. Ray shakes himself, blood streaming from his brow. He has to rub it out of his eye to check on Cherry. She too is hanging upside down, blood flowing down her face. Her open eyes stare lifelessly at him. Ray freezes with the realization that he just killed her. Then she speaks, and relief washes over him.
I thought if you saw a deer, you shouldn't fucking swerve.
That wasn't a deer.
He unsnaps his seatbelt and hits the ground. He tries to reach her belt. Suddenly, the glass smashes in on her side. Hands reach in and grab her, yanking her out of the truck.
Cherry!
Ray unstraps himself and smashes through his window to get out. He scrambles out of the truck and stares up at the pitch black that surrounds him. He hears the sounds of struggling and Cherry's body being dragged along the gravel shoulder. We hear god-awful screams of bloody murder. Wray leaps back to the truck and struggles to find his rifle. It's under the seat, now over his seat, and in 2 pieces. He snaps it together in the dark. He has a pen light in his mouth, and as he looks down, fitting it together expertly. He grabs another tube-like contraption and fumbles over behind the truck. He lifts the tube to his eye and clicks in a night vision green. He scans the area with the night scope and sees Cherry on the ground. 3 hideous shapes are huddled over her, ripping at her clothes, it seems, gnawing on something he can't make it out. Wray slaps the scope on his rifle and starts firing away at the 3 shapes. A few direct hits and they disappear into the night, carrying something with them. Cherry lies writhing and in shock on the ground. He runs over to her with his flashlight.
Nita, are you all right?
He sees her bloody body and falls silent.
Oh, Jesus.
Cut to interior hospital night. The outer hospital doors kick in as a gurney is shoved through. Wray is walking beside the gurney that's bringing in what's left of Cherry. She's under heavy sedation. Block is running in with an assistant.
Don't let her die on me, Block.
What'd you do to her, Wray?
Cherry, darling.
They follow the body through the ER, passing through people of varying ailments.
Car accident, heavy contusions about the torso, possible spinal trauma.
Block examines her. The paramedic lifts the lower half of the sheet.
1 severed limb.
Where's the leg? Paramedic shrugs. You don't have the leg. Wray just sweats it out as he walks. What the hell's going on? It could be reattached.
After the accident, 3 psychos attacked her. I got my rifle. I shot at them. I never miss. But somehow they ran off anyway.
Block gives him a look that says this is the second most unbelievable story he's heard tonight.
They took the leg with them.
Low angle as Sheriff Hague walks into the hospital, projecting confidence and control. His trusted deputy, Tolo, is at his side, shotgun at the ready.
You have to come with us, Wray. We need to talk about this, you know.
He has to sign her in. If he's with her, he's responsible for her. Block hands him a clipboard.
He'll find it out after we walk. Let's go.
Block shakes his head.
Hey, Block!
Block turns around to see Dr. Crane, who has one hand on the curtain, the other hand on an electrical surgical saw.
You want to be here for this? Taking your friend's arm off?
Block peers over and sees Joe asleep on the table. Yeah, you do it. Crane shrugs.
Suit yourself.
He whips the curtain closed. We see him and Joe behind the curtain in silhouette. Block rejoins the legless Cherry behind another curtain. Cut to interior hospital, glass corner night. Sheriff Hague talks to Wray at the glass corner of the hospital wing.
What were you doing with a rifle, Wray?
Nothing. I was thinking about maybe doing some hunting when the season breaks.
Sheriff shakes his head like he's been through this 1,000 times.
Come on, Wray. You know you're not supposed to be doing that stuff anymore.
Not even hunting?
Not even hunting. And you know that. Not with your history.
He looks around, make sure no one's listening.
Here I stick my neck out for you. Stick it out far. And now you've got a girl in your rut truck missing a leg. Missing a leg. That's now missing. And here you're saying in front of everybody that someone hand snatched it up and that you shot him with a gun you shouldn't have had, that now they're gone.
Wray has been watching a few of the patients go by with different ailments, sores, infections. The sound design highlights anytime someone touches or scratches at one of their wounds, the sound of infection spreading.
I know how oh, sorry.
No, I know how it sounds. Don't think I don't know.
That's true, you do, and it doesn't look good for you at this time, Wray. You can see that, I hope.
Ray's got determination burning in his eyes.
What if I find the leg? Oh, sorry.
What if I find the leg?
Yeah.
Sheriff, who knows who he is in this script, waits a beat.
So you know where it is? You show us where it is and give us a full confession, you're saying.
Wray sees another person wheeled by, scratching at strange sores on their face. That sound again, crawling under our skin.
Sheriff, can we finish this somewhere else?
My thought exactly.
Close on cuffs snapped onto his wrist. Interior exterior, JT's diner night. JT's talking on the phone as he mixes up a new batch of sauce. I know it's a little arrogant putting up a sign, best barbecue in Texas, period, but well, who's going to come in here and argue with that? JT tastes it, drops in another chunk of bone and some brisket trimmings. JT glances up. Standing outside by the gas pump is a new body, standing and staring. Yeah, big barbecue contest coming up this week. Working on the perfect recipe. Winning that'll put me on the food channel. Put this place back on the map. JT walks over to the doorway and opens it. Hey there. The shape does nothing, just stands. We're open all night. Yeah, we'll be open. And stares. You feel like getting some food? I'm open all night, all right? Just holler. JT goes back in, all smiles. Interior hospital, Cherry's room, ER night. Block finishes the last stapled touch on Cherry's leg. He pulls off his goggles and his mask as the assistant nurse cleans up. He looks at Cherry's peaceful, sleeping face. He exits, wiping his tired brow.
Dr. Block, 3 fresh ones rolling in.
Christ, you're kidding.
Automobile accident off Highway 18.
Block reaches the bodies. One is alive, and the other 2 are getting sheets lifted over them. With DOAs, get Andy to pick him up.
He's out on 620 picking up another 2. You won't be here for another hour or so.
Fucking Wednesday nights. Block lifts the first sheet, examines the dead man. Attendant notices the thermometer in Block's mouth.
That's unsanitary.
Block removes it, looks at it, and sticks it back between his teeth. Not if I'm the only one who's using it. Helps me monitor my state of calm.
If you get worked up enough to crack it, could cut yourself pretty good.
And I would know I was not calm. Block lifts the sheet off of the second body. He stares at it, studies it, can't quite make out what he's even seeing until the thermometer shatters between his clenched teeth. Somebody call my wife. Exterior sheriff station night. A truck passes by in front of camera on the cut. We see Wray being escorted to the police station. Interior sheriff station. They have full cuffs on Wray, his ankles and wrists. Sheriff Hague and Wray walk into the precinct. Earl McGraw is picking up his jacket and hat and already packing up for the night. I'll check in on all of you in the morning. I got to get home, Sheriff.
All right, then.
McGraw recognizes Wray. You in trouble again, Wray?
Just passing through, I hope. What's a Texas Ranger like you doing in a punk bitch place like this?
Oh, office burned down. Sheriff was kind enough to let me temp here.
Yeah, he's a peach. How's the wife, Earl?
Hague gives Wray a look, wondering why they get on so well. Not so good. But it's her own doing in a way. All those cigarettes, and now she don't want nothing to do with the chemo. It's taking its time, I tell you. You don't smoke, do you, Wray? That's good. Night, fellas. McGraw is out the door. Wray lights his cigarette.
I need to make my phone call.
Cut to interior hospital, Cherry's room night. She feels the stump where her knee should be. Tears start to pour down her face. A silent sufferer. She touches the metal prong poking out of her bandaged stub. She holds back her tears. She closes her eyes. She fights it. Maybe even accepts. Exterior JT's diner night. Now, there's 2 bodies standing outside of the pumps. JT opens the door with a plate of food. Can I interest you fellas in a plate of soon-to-be award-winning barbecue? The bodies outside don't move. You from Dinky's Barbecue? You tell that sumbitch he thinks he can come in here and get my recipes. Well, I got a double-barreled answer to your query right here. No movement. JT starts to eat the food himself and fades back inside. Interior Sheriff's Office night. Sheriff gets a phone call while he interviews Wray.
Sheriff Hugh.
Hague? Yeah, no, it's JT.
Hague.
Learn to say your own name.
Okay, JT.
Yeah, it's JT, Sheriff.
How's the barbecue business?
Well, ever since my bastard landlord raised the rent to the sky, it's been a shit.
Sorry to hear that. Wish there was something I could do other than my name.
Look, the last thing I want is to call you asking for anything, but I'm not calling my brother right now. I'm calling the sheriff. Just keep going, Trap.
Okay, what's that trouble?
Well, not trouble really. Not yet, anyway. Might want you to send someone over. 2 delinquents been hanging out here for over an hour. Won't leave, won't purchase. They're just... Oh, wait, never mind. Here they come. We see that JT is looking at the 2 delinquent shapes standing right outside the door. They just stand and stare.
You cook the meat at 250 degrees, don't you?
He's cooking up a sauce while he talks. I don't know. I set them heat with my hand.
Give me that recipe or I'll raise your rent even more.
Brother, no Texan's ever going to tell you their barbecue recipe. That's a fact. They can take it to their dying grave. I could be bleeding like a stuck pig. I ain't going to tell you. I could be dying in your arms. I ain't going to tell you. JT hangs up. We see the 2 shapes still at the door. Well, you gonna look? Or you gonna eat? The shape pushes the door in. Cut to interior hospital, Tammy's room night. Close on the door opening as Dakota steps in operations at a clip. Dakota joins the paramedic and Block.
You called for me?
Yeah, I need you to see this. Block lifts the sheet off of the body and we see the face. It's Tammy. Her face frozen in the shock of death. Prepare yourself. Dakota can't believe her eyes. She can't breathe. Block looks at her closely for her reaction.
Looks like a no-brainer.
What do you mean? Paramedic turns Tammy's head to the side. We can see the brain is missing.
No brain. Scooped clean out of her skull. I know what that is. Liquefactive necrosis.
Dakota walks to the corner, containing her composure. Thank you. That'll be all. Block walks over to Dakota. He embraces her. He consoles her. Did you know she was back in town?
No. I didn't. What happened to her?
I don't know, baby. His arm moves to her back, squeezes. He's very calm. Too calm. I thought you stopped seeing each other.
We have.
Yeah, you have now. She's fucking dead.
I mean, we stopped before. I haven't talked to her in a while.
He moves his hand up to her neck. He kisses her forehead. But you've written each other.
Here and there, but nothing.
Block has pulled her Palm Pilot out of her pocket. She takes it away.
What are you doing?
I want to see your last 3 messages.
I can't. You have no right to.
I don't? He takes one of the needles out of her pocket protector. I don't have a right? Let me see it. She holds up her hand to protect herself. Show it to me.
No.
Block stabs her in the hand with the needle. She pulls her hand back. A small hole. Now that's just to take the sting off. Show it to me. She backs up into the wall, worried she won't
No.
scream loud enough.
No, please.
Show it to me. He's stabbing both of her hands as she protects her face. He reaches for her Palm Pilot again. She keeps it from him. For now. Now let's see how fast our friends work. Dakota's hands go numb. The Palm Pilot slides out of her hand and into Block's. By the way her hand is posed, we realize they've been numbed by the needles. Well, that's pretty fast. He picks up the pilot, clicks at it. A readout comes up. I think he knows. Please hurry, baby. What do I know exactly, my love? That you're a cheating, lying sack.
I didn't want to hurt you.
No. But you did. He takes out her other needle. The big one.
Because you're insane, but I'm afraid of you. Afraid of what you might do to me.
He takes off the needle tip with his teeth, spits it at her, bounces off her face.
And our son.
She tries to stop him, but both of her hands are rubber. And after this one. A paramedic runs into the room. Block hides the needle.
Dr. Block,
What?
you got to see this.
Be right there. Paramedic leaves. Dakota is shoved into a small room. Block locks the door. Interior hospital, ER night. A curtain is pulled aside, revealing 3 empty gurneys. Where are the bodies? The other hospital personnel are dumbfounded. Well, they didn't just get up and walk out, did they? Block sees bloody footprints, follows them to the waiting room, which is going nuts. Doc Felix nods him over. The hell's going on out there?
Viral infections, all of them. They came pouring in.
We see the full waiting room, patients scratching at their infections. It's nasty.
Think of what I'm thinking?
Self-preservation. Let's get the hell out of here.
I'm with you.
Let me just go get my wife. Interior hospital, ER hallway night. Block heads back to the elevator. He hears a buzzsaw start up. He goes up to where Joe is getting his arm removed. He hears the blade grinding into something. That procedure should be done by now. Blood can be seen spraying onto the curtain from the other side. Block tears open the curtain, zoom in on an armless Joe standing above Dr. Crane. The saw is buried into the doctor's chest. Joe turns back to Block. His face is unrecognizable. Joe lifts the saw and starts towards Block. Block closes the flimsy curtain and backs up. The blade slices through the bloody curtain. Joe approaches Block with the blade held high. The plug pulls out of the wall socket, and the blade dies by the time it gets to Block's eye. Joe looks over at Block and places his diseased hand onto Block's face, squeezing it, then rubs it all over Block's face and eyes. Joe leaves him be. Block turns around, thinking this is odd as well. We see that Block has instantly developed his own disease on his face. Exterior sheriff station night. We see the sheriff station and a few cops coming in and out of it. Cut to interior sheriff station. Wray is finishing his phone call. Must be speaking in some kind of code because he's talking right in front of the sheriff, and the sheriff can't make heads or tails of it.
DC2, what about countering with atropine? Gotcha.
Wray hangs up. He's got a lot on his mind.
Start by telling me you first started carrying this gun, and then we'll make our way up to when you first saw this girl, because right now I want to stick you in the noose. That's right. You're going to take a walk down the hall.
Sheriff points up to the hall. It's right above Ray's seat. A tower that leads up, a noose hanging straight down. Ray looks at it dangling above, shot from below and from above.
Last time the hall was officially used, 1928, but officially, on nights like tonight, only as far back as 1992.
Unofficially, yes. Ray is eyeing the hall above him. A noose is hanging down right over his head.
And I'm feeling real nostalgic right now, about now.
Just then, Deputy Guy comes tearing into the sheriff's station, screaming.
Somebody take care of this perp before I fucking kill him.
What the hell's going on?
Was causing a ruckus down at Skip, so I cuffed him and the son of a bitch just bit my goddamn finger off.
So quit hollering and get yourself a goddamn Band-Aid.
I'm not exaggerating using colorful speech, Sheriff. He bit my finger clean off. Fucking shit. Get him out of there and book him, because I'll fucking kill him if I have to do it. He's in the squad car.
Carlos, go get him. Ray, you stay put.
Interior Sheriff Station, squad car night. Carlos goes up to the vehicle. The scene is shot from inside the car. He's trying to see him.
Sure he's in there?
Unlocks it. Looks inside. No one's there. Looks to the other window. The window is smashed.
Holy shit.
Carlos runs around to the other side. Picks up something on the ground. Looks around. Looks under the car. Pops back up. Ah! Sheriff is there.
What's taking you so fucking long?
He's gone. Broke out the window.
Where's my finger?
Found your ring.
Ray is at the steps.
Could it have been the same guy as your leg snatcher?
I didn't get a good look at mine.
They turn around, the sound of rustling off camera.
Is that him from over there?
Several things come leaping out of the shadows. Deputy Guy's entire arm is torn from his body. Several other thugs attack Carlos and rip him in half. Sheriff pulls out his gun and starts firing. The bodies of the cops are tossed into the air, smashing into their cars, destroying them. Wray is attacked by one of them, and he manages to kick his feet around its neck, the chain across his ankles, choking the creature. The creature opens its mouth, and some weird thing shit starts vomiting out towards Wray. Wray grabs Deputy Guy's gun from his severed arm and shoots the creature in the face through his ankle cuffs, killing two birds with one bullet. Sheriff runs over to the downed creature. He tries to help the poor thing by checking its vitals.
No, don't touch him.
Sheriff pulls his hand away and watches the person creature die.
He's infected.
With what?
Everything.
Deputy Guy grabs his walkie-talkie and turns it up. Hears the pleas of what's going down at the hospital. Wray hears it as well.
Shit's raining down at the hospital, Sheriff.
Sheriff is still firing at the freaks darting through the shadows. Wray runs to his truck. Sheriff turns around and levels his gun at Wray.
Drop the fucking gun, Wray.
Wray flips the gun upside down so the barrel is pointing at himself. Sheriff takes the gun.
Where the fuck you think you're going?
I gotta get Cherry.
Sheriff keeps the gun on Wray, but sees the scene as hopeless.
Fine, but we'll be taking my car.
Just then, his car explodes behind him. Through the flames, he sees several other shapes running across the shadows. Not all look human.
I'll ride with you. Don't you fucking make any sudden moves.
A few other cops come aboard. Deputy Guy is dragged onto the back of Ray's truck. They take off. Some cops stand on the back like it's a fire engine. They are firing at the shapes that keep coming after them. We see the shapes gathering around Carlos's dead body. They rip Carlos's scalp off and eat his brains. Interior, Earl McGraw home night. Earl McGraw is feeding his wife soup. She's not looking too good. A photo is nearby. Earl McGraw on a motorcycle with his then young wife on the back.
I hate to do this to you, Earl, but we need every man on the job. Shit's hit the fan, and then some. Get us guns, ammo, meet me at my brother's.
All right, I'm on my way. Rona, you're gonna have to eat this kind of quick. There's an emergency back at the... God dang, passing gas, Ramona? Jesus, hey, that is the most horrible smell I have ever... Ramona? Her eyes are lifeless. Ramona? He puts his head on her chest. Her eyes shift and slowly look down at him. Her mouth opens. A fucked up tongue sticks out and lowers towards his head. Interior hospital. Cherry tries to get out of bed, but can't. She rings the nurse's button, but no one answers. She rings it several more times.
Hello? Someone? I need to pee.
She looks towards the open door and into the hallway. A nurse runs towards the room.
It's about time.
The nurse is tackled by a group of shadowed figures. They rip her to pieces. Cherry pulls the sheets up over her head. One of the figures looks up from the feeding, stares right at Cherry's room. Exterior hospital parking lot night. Dakota crashes out of the second-story window and into the ground in a pile of glass and window frame. She runs through the parking lot. Her hands are numb from the meds, so fumbling for her keys becomes a sick comedy routine. She gets the ignition key into her teeth, but her car is an old 70s model with a push-button handle, so her hands flop uselessly into the door, unable to grip the handle. She jams one of her hands all the way through the door handle for leverage and uses her foot to push the button. She gets the door open, but slips on the wet pavement, her hand still stuck in the loop of the handle. The fall breaks her hand and wrist in the door handle with an ugly snap. She screams. She pulls her broken jelly hand out. It flops around in her wrist, and we realize it's too numb for her to really feel it. She holds it lifelessly under her arm. She puts the key in the ignition with her teeth and turns it in the ignition the same way. We hear a crack, and she spits out a tooth with some blood. She unsnaps her watch with her teeth and hooks the elongated band into the stick shift and pulls it into reverse. She tries to steer with her hands, flopping like fish on the steering wheel. A high-angle shot as she crashes into a couple of parked cars while she tears out of the parking lot, driving like a drunk. She swerves, almost hitting Ray's wrecker, which comes into the hospital parking lot. Interior, Ray's Ray's truck, hospital, night. Sheriff rides bitch with his 357 still trained on Wray.
Okay, that was funny. What the hell's going on?
Exterior hospital, parking lot, night. We reveal the hospital in flames. Patients are flooding the parking lot, almost walking slow, some still attached to the hospital gear. They're walking not unlike zombies, but most are just regular sick patients having to evacuate a burning building.
Going in.
Sheriff knows he can't stop him.
You gonna give me a gun?
Are you fucking kidding me?
Wray shakes his head and grabs a scuba knife or a cool switchblade or a cool blade in general out of the glove compartment. Wray takes off running. As he does, Sheriff raises his gun and aims it at Ray's back. He cocks the hammer, but a figure stumbles up behind, reaches for the sheriff. The sheriff blasts him one, looks down to see.
Help me.
Sheriff looks down, realizes he didn't shoot a zombie, just an old man of a patient looking for help. The patient dies.
God damn it. Let's sort this shit out, boys.
Sheriff looks up towards the hospital. Ray's gone. Interior hospital night. Wray goes tearing into the hospital using his knife techniques on a few attacking zombie things. Fire has spread everywhere. Interior hospital, Cherry's room, ER, night. He finds Cherry still in her room, a sheet over her head. He reaches for it.
Cherry? Bonita.
He slowly pulls it off of her. She's lying there, crying in her own private hell.
Get up. We're leaving.
Can't walk.
So what? Get up.
He grabs her, pulling her into a sitting position. She yells in pain.
Motherfucker, look at me. Look at me.
She's showing him her stub.
I was gonna be a stand-up comedian. Who's gonna laugh now?
Some of the best jokes are about cripples. Let's go.
It's not funny. It's pathetic.
Stop crying over fucking spilt milk.
I have no leg.
Frustrated, Wray tears a leg off of a table. He jams it onto the metal stud in her stump. He whacks it into place. Hard.
Now you do. What do you think?
She holds her peg leg up in the air and looks at it.
You could use it in your act, okay?
Cherry stops crying, examines the leg, holds the stub up in the air.
Maybe.
He pulls her out of bed. She stumbles around on her new leg. He's pulling her by the arm, making her walk awkwardly.
You could carry me, Ray.
Never wanted that before. Why start now?
He stabs a zombie thing attacker in a cool Wray move, where he's finished and back up to supporting Cherry before she falls over. They continue on. Exterior parking lot night. They exit. Many cars are on fire. The parking lamps flicker. Many are out. It's dark out here. Ray's truck is empty. No sign of the cops.
Sheriff must have taken the others to their rendezvous point. Get in.
Interior, exterior, Ray's truck, hospital night. She gets in the truck. Wray pushes her over to the driver's seat.
You drive. I'll shoot.
He pulls a couple of rifles out from under his seat, pieces them together expertly while kicking zombies away. Cherry gets ready, puts her peg leg on the gas.
I can't drive worth a shit like this.
I don't need you to drive good. I need you to crash into those motherfuckers.
He climbs up to the top back of the truck. Cherry sees where they're about to be attacked. She starts the truck as Wray gets his gun ready on top. She looks out in front of her. Doesn't see much. A few bodies. She remembers the switch and hits the button on the dash that turns on the passive infrared screen. We see all the shapes of people out of the night. There's at least 40, all moving towards the truck. She hits the gas with her peg leg. Wray picks them off in rapid succession, putting a bullet in each of their heads. Then Cherry splatters the creeps with her truck, their faces smashing wet against the windshield. Interior, Dakota and Tony's home night. The Babysitter twins, both age 17, are sitting with their bare legs over the couch armrests, chewing gum and looking tardy as they talk on their cell phones and paint each other's toenails red. Little Tony talking about his tarantula and scorpion pets as if there's no tomorrow. There isn't.
I'm only taking 2 classes this semester. My brain is burning.
Yeah, my sister said that she was the cuter twin, but it's really me. It's better.
Tony resumes talking about his pets. Dakota enters the house.
I'm sorry.
Chica, you said 10 p.m. and we can't be watching your kid all damn night.
Dakota's not in the mood and tries badly to apologize anyway. Babysitter 2 is acting like a bouncer, giving Dakota attitude, glare, and a puffed out chest.
Your friend never showed up, and I got shit to do.
Dakota uses her arms to grab the babysitter by the hair and push her through the door.
Start doing it!
This takes Babysitter 2 by surprise, and she willingly leaves. Dakota kicks Babysitter 2 out on the sidewalk, then kicks the door closed.
Tony, we're leaving!
Tony's carrying his bag.
Wait, my turtle.
Bring it, let's go.
And my scorpion. And my tarantula.
There's 2 more containers on the table.
Sorry. And we're not octopuses, so we can't carry everything. Let's go now.
Interior, exterior, Dakota's car at night. They get into the car. Tony is finishing dumping all of his pets into the same container.
Tony, what did I tell you? We're not bringing them all.
We see the close-up of the pets facing off with each other.
They can live in the same tank together. Wait, what about my pocket bike?
It's in the trunk.
Shot on Dakota, suddenly jumps to slow-mo as whack. Her window cracks, spider webbing across from an impact of a pickaxe.
Where are you going, bitch?
The babysitters whack at the car with a shovel and a pickaxe, denting and cracking glass.
I'm gonna fucking kill you.
They're mad at you.
Dakota slams on the gas and runs over one of the babysitters. But like a Venezuelan acrobat, she leaps back to her feet and they both chase after Dakota while cursing. Dakota speeds away. By the way, these girls are not infected at all. They're just crazy. Exterior, JT's diner night. Cherry pulls up at JT's diner. Wray leaps off the back. The sheriff is there with a few of his officers. They're staking out JT's. Some other civilians are with them.
What do we got?
Something's wrong up there. JT always comes out and greets.
Deputy Tolo brings Sheriff a shoebox and guns. The sheriff dumps out the box of badges onto the car hood.
Everybody grab a badge and a gun. You're all deputies as of this moment forth.
Ray is the first to move on it.
Except you, Wray. Let's go.
He waves and they climb up to JT's diner, creeping around the sides. Interior, JT's diner night. They walk into the diner. JT is on the ground with his dog licking and chewing on JT's intestines. Ray tends to him. The sheriff hauls the dog away.
Get the hell off him, Rusty.
JT sits up suddenly with a shotgun aimed at Ray. He's in a panic. Jay feels his intestines. Takes a bite. It's passed out after killing them things.
Over here.
We see that that what was once human lying on the ground with their heads blown off. JT holds up what we thought were his intestines to Ray. Barbecue. Ray takes it and bites off a link.
That's damn good link sausage.
Best in Texas. He stands. We see the others gathering things from the store and putting them in boxes.
Get the supplies.
JT eats some sauce off of his shirt. I think I've cracked it. Holy shit, I cracked it. An award-winning sauce. Hague sees what he's licking.
There's blood in it.
JT notices. I'll be damned. Sure is, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Was that Jerry?
I think you'd be disqualified for that.
Yeah, that's funny.
Thank you.
Bottled water, good. Get plenty of that. We'll need good, clean, uncontaminated water.
JT holds up his hand as if to make a confession, then thinks better of it. So what? You call state of emergency and raid my place?
You catch on quick. Plus, it's half mine.
You raised the rent on me, bastard. Her brother doesn't do that to his kin. Now you're planning on giving up the badge and picking up the brisket. Open your own barbecue joint. Well, ain't gonna happen. Not with this recipe anyway. Granddad passed that on to me. Me.
And he passed ownership of this building. Checks and balances sort of deal.
You fucked me so you don't get shit.
Right now, all I want are the supplies. We'll get out of here in a jiffy, and I'd advise you to come with us.
Interior, exterior, Dakota's car, McGraw house, night. Dakota pulls up to the house off of the main highway. She hits the horn in several long bursts. No one comes out. The pork light is out.
The tarantula killed my scorpion.
Dakota looks at his pet holder. Scorpion's dead, but so is the tarantula.
Then my turtle killed the tarantula.
I'm sorry.
She looks around frantically, hits the horn again.
The turtle was the strongest.
Can you open it for Romey?
She points to the glove compartment. He opens it. A gun is inside.
Take it carefully. And if anyone comes to the door that isn't me, you shoot them, okay?
Tony isn't sure if she's joking.
I am not kidding, Tony. Nothing is safe anymore. Shoot them. Shoot them in the head.
What if it's Dad?
Especially if it's your dad.
She's crying as she cracks the door open and peeks out. She turns back and sees the gun pointed at her head, Tony studying it. Dakota lowers Tony's arm.
Be careful where you point it. You'll blow your own face off, okay? Be careful. Pray for me.
No dead bodies tonight. Amen.
She's looking around to make sure no one's out there.
I'll be right back.
She kisses him. She turns towards the house, takes a few steps, slow ones. There's rustling out here and wind. She hears something out in the field. She starts towards the house and hears a scream coming from inside. A man yelling. She hears something crashing and breaking. Then silence. Then she hears a loud gunshot. Turns back around. No one's outside the car. She runs back to the car and peers in the frosty window. Tony is slumped in the front seat. Shot. A bloody mess where his face used to be. She reacts as a hand reaches from off camera and pulls her hair. She screams in pain and turns enough that we can see it's Block. His face is more fucked up now, but we can tell it's him. He has a giant needle in his hand. His face is full of sores.
You bastard, look what you did. Look what you did to our son.
Dakota beats Block back with a mother's fury, pummels him to the ground, then stops when other infected approach from down the street. Dakota stumbles around the passenger side of the car. She opens Tony's door with a key. He falls out into her arms. Block stands. Half his face is caved in from Dakota's beating, but it only makes him scarier, especially when he stands and reaches for Dakota. Dakota carries Tony in the house as all the other infectors fall in line behind Block. Carrying Tony, Dakota can't run as fast as she wants. The infected walk towards her as if possessing the knowledge that she won't get very far, so why rush? As she nears the front door, McGraw swings it open. He's inside the house holding a bloody axe. He can't believe his eyes. I told you I never wanted to fucking see you again.
Daddy, please.
He sees what's behind her and gets her inside, slams the door. Interior, JT's diner, backroom area, night. JT leads them to the back of his living quarters by passing through the meat locker. JT pokes at hanging slabs of beef as they pass through. Out of habit, mostly. Vehicles you need? Vehicles I got. This way, please. The tarp lays over a shape in the next room. Meet my wife. JT pulls the tarp off. We reveal his custom chopper in all its awesome glory. Sexy, long, lean, mean machine. Jesse James Custom Dominator. Served Jesse a plate of barbecue so good he gave me this bike free of fucking charge.
Got anything that can transport more people?
JT unveils a primer black 56 Chevy. How about this?
Where's the top?
It's chopped. Permanent convertible. No roll bar, no chicken wire, none of that shit.
No protection. Forget it.
But she's fast. Nitrous injected, 350 horsepower engine. Wray brushes by the sheriff, who grips his arm.
Who the hell are you, Wray? I mean, really, Ray's Wreckage? That's what it says on your truck. You a wrecker, where Wray?
I'm nobody. Easiest thing to remember, so remember it.
Wray steps off. Interior, JT's diner, night. They're in the back, gathering their supplies and making a plan. Cherry is watching a TV set, looking for the news update. Exterior trenches, night. Geraldo is on TV, and he's on the move, reporting from the trenches, doing what he does best. At this moment, Geraldo sounds like Travis.
We have confirmation that terrorists have unleashed a biological weapon here in a remote part of Texas. The few that are not affected by this airborne plague are killed by the ones that are.
Just then, Geraldo is attacked by plague victims. His cameraman goes next. The camera lands in a way that we see Geraldo screaming as he tries to fight off the cannibalistic marauders. He gets killed, blood splattering the camera lens. Interior JT's diner night. Cherry shuts off the TV.
Cool. Doesn't make sense. Why would terrorists want to attack us? We're in the middle of nowhere.
Who knows what they're thinking? Don't eat meat. Can't trust anybody who don't eat meat. Fucking soulless. You eat meat?
Oh yeah, that's all I eat.
Good girl.
And shit. I eat a lot of shit. See this?
She smiles big, teethy. What's that?
Shit eating grin.
Hey, you should be a comedian.
Thank you. I think I will. What do you think of my leg?
Oh, that's funny.
Terrific.
Someone out there asks where the tools are. JT goes to show them. Wray walks in the small bedroom and closes the door behind him. Interior JT's diner, small bedroom, night. Wray locks the door with a latch.
Is that to keep them out or keep us in?
How's your stump?
They knocked it out something fierce. Can't feel a thing.
Wray lays on the waterbed with Cherry. They bounce around a bit. Wray takes off his jacket.
This must be the real Bone Shack. Old JT knows how to live.
Like fuck he does. I'm sure to you this is class setup, but no fucking way.
You say fuck a lot. Do you like fuck?
Fuck you.
Wray takes off his shirt. Wray is covered in tattoos and bullet wounds and other assorted scars. He's like Rambo times 10.
Fuck me?
Wray starts undoing his pants.
Oh, now you're the comedian. Go ahead, drop your pants. I'll laugh.
I highly doubt that.
He removes his belt and his wallet. He starts taking off his watch.
That's my jacket.
Yeah, I know.
I looked for it 2 weeks.
Yeah, you said that. Look, you were being an unbelievable dick. I was walking out on you. I was cold. I needed a jacket. I took yours.
Wray isn't upset as much as he's amused.
So if you're gonna start your fucking psycho-obsessive controlling rant over a fucking jacket, then fucking take it, because I'd rather fucking freeze than hear your fucking shit.
Did you find what was in the pocket?
No! Fuck!
Find it.
She searches a zippered compartment. Nothing.
The other one.
She turns the jacket over. There on the back are 2 more zippered compartments. She undoes one and finds a small red box. Opens it.
I was going to give it to you, but you left me. And you took the jacket. And I looked for it for 2 weeks.
She pulls out a ring. An engagement ring.
Read it.
2 against the world.
Remember that?
Never forgot it.
They kiss. She lifts her shirt up. The film print gets shaky and grittier for a real change. A few jump cuts and we can almost barely see what looks like was originally a really hot love scene. It's so hot the film literally sizzles.
Why'd you leave?
You didn't believe in us or me.
Her answer is practically inaudible, for the film print is so screwed up, it finally burns. Title card reads, Missing Reel. Play for 10 seconds. Exterior, JT's diner. All hell breaks loose. We start the reel with a stinger over an exterior shot of the diner in flames. Hundreds of zombie thing creatures out there walking up towards the now burning building. We must have missed a good 20 minutes. So as an audience, we're playing catch up with the story. But basically, all hell has broken loose. Those that were infected before with skin disease are now full-blown freaks with coliforms, necrosis, ulcerated lesions, staph infections, the works. They are in hordes outside the diner. We find the sheriff being pulled in from the outside. He's bleeding like a pig, chaos everywhere. Interior JT's diner night. Cherry drags Dakota and her child in from the outside. Earl McGraw helps the others reboard up the door. Everything has been reinforced since the last time we saw this place.
She's a doctor.
A bloody, battle-worn Wray patches up Sheriff quickly and impressively.
Maybe you could give me a hand.
Actually, you did that pretty good.
Wray keeps working on the sheriff, then notices that Dakota is talking to her dead child.
What did I tell you, Tony? Don't point the gun at yourself. Did I tell you that?
All the new faces are getting acquainted while in action. We see the twin babysitters carrying and Skip, owner of the Go 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 Club. He's got his arms over the two girls, pretending to be hurt more than he is. They tear open his shirt and start swabbing him. Cherry rolls her eyes. Hague knows he's dying, the others are wounded, and Ray's the only chance they've got. Wray looks determined to save the sheriff.
Thanks for telling me.
Don't mention it. That's an order.
Had I known you were Ray, I wouldn't have given you such a hard time.
Didn't mean to be a prick about it. Need to know basis, that kind of shit.
Hague takes his peacemaker and hands it to Wray.
You take this, Ray. You take this and do what you do best.
All the way.
Tolo walks in on this scene and intercepts the gun exchange. But no, you can't give him the gun, not to Wray.
Give him that gun, Tolo. Give him that gun. Give him all the guns.
Tolo sees the look in Hague's dying eyes. He hands the guns to Wray. A bloodlust rises in Wray. His eyes go wild. He does some insanely fast gun spins. We push in on the twin babysitters and Skip, eyes and mouths wide open. We push in on Tolo, who whispers a holy shit. Pushing on JT, serious as a heart attack. That boy's got the devil in him. Wray puts the guns into his pant belt, more than he can almost carry, just the way he likes it. There's something about Wray and guns, information we'll never find out. It was all in that missing reel. One thing is for certain, Wray loves guns and guns love Wray. Boom! A creature suddenly breaks through the door. Something comes through the door. It no longer looks human. The disease has caused total deformation with bulbous cysts that, when hit, pop like giant zits, sending bile and pus goop. Then, boom, another splice cut, and it's already eating Tolo. Wray blasts its head off, and some other fancy gun stuff. Tolo gets torn in half. JT helps drag one of the dead creature bodies into the meat freezer. Same shot as before, we now half the beef slabs have been replaced by creatures. This must have all happened during the missing reel. Wray scans all the new weary faces. They must have made their way here during the missing reel as well.
You. What's your name? Skip. Go out there and kill the killdozer. I'll cover you. Are you fucking crazy? I'm not going out there. Go. No.
Skip.
Skip looks to Cherry in panic.
It's a go-go, not cry-cry.
Skip's eyes narrow.
I never miss. I'm not up to it.
I'll go.
She pushes by Skip, sees what she's up against, and plots a course.
Cherry, no.
Interior-exterior, JT's diner night. Cherry hobbles/runs for the killdozer. Thrilling tracking shot as Wray has to fire repeatedly, picking off every charging zombie. The last one is shot/ratcheted away from Cherry mid-lunge. Wray also fires at the gas pumps, causing flames to rise to the sky. Cherry gets in the killdozer and drives it right up and through the front door. They haul the wounded back into the back, including the sheriff.
I'll drive the truck. JT, you take whoever you can fit in your convertible.
JT takes Skip and the twin babysitters with him, armed to the teeth.
We need guns.
They're handed a machine gun.
Machine gun.
You remember how to ride a bike?
Useless talent number 325.
He looks at her leg.
Use your front brake, if at all. We need one more. Who else has a car? You?
Dakota's standing there, still carrying dead Tony with a gun in his hand.
The engine is shot, 3 blown tires, but I got his pocket bike in the trunk.
Is it fast?
0 to 50 in 4 seconds.
Exterior highway night. Vroom, vroom. We hear the start of engines revving up. JT in the convertible. He pulls a rib out of his jacket pocket and nibbles on it. Cherry's on her chopper, revving it up. Dakota revs up the killdozer, her son still slung over her shoulder. Wray is at Dakota's dead car. He pulls a pocket bike out of the trunk. We see it land on the floor in full size. Looks normal until he sits on it and pulls out in front of the caravan. It's smaller than a tricycle. He raises up his gun and fires it to signal. They all speed off and crash into zombies. Wray zips around shooting zombies in the kneecaps. When they drop, he zips back and shoots them in the head. JT and the ones in the convertible fend off zombies that flood on top of them. Cherry runs over as many as she can. An accident happens and one of the zombies attacks JT. He swerves, sending his poor dog out into the street. Rusty! Dog tries to catch up, but gets run over by the police van. The babysitters scream as blood sprays them. Exterior highway bridge night. They come to a stop because the bridge is blocked by a line of zombies. Momentary standoff. The zombies raise their arms and begin their charge. But machine gun fire interrupts, mowing down zombies and almost taking out the survivors as well.
Hey, hold your fire. We're not infected.
The zombies fall over and reveal military vehicles. But don't mess with Texas. Soldiers level their guns at our heroes. Muldoon steps out of the truck, breathing into his apparatus.
Oh, hold on. There we go. Survivors must come with us.
Wray motions for them not to move, but two soldiers lower behind him and on lines.
Including you, El Ray.
Close on his eyes. They glow the pale color again. Cherry makes note of them knowing each other. Whack. Wray gets a rifle butt to the head. He goes down. Cut to black. Exterior army base, night. Ray's POV. As Wray drifts in and out of consciousness, he sees the military base sign. As they drive in, a couple of helicopters land. Fade. Soldiers carry a giant tank contraption. Fade. Cherry hovers over him, tending to his wounds. Fade to black. Interior quarantine cell. We fade up on Abby, beat up, his turban ragged. He looks like Wray feels. Wray sits up. Other survivors are in here too.
Is that you, El Ray?
He's with them. I saw him earlier tonight with Convoy.
I'm a scientist and a businessman, not military.
Not the diaper on Haji. He's in on it.
Don't judge a man by his scarf, sweetheart.
Sim Salabim, asshole.
It's all right. I know this guy. He's cool. I mean, he's kind of a dick, but he's cool. Which is why he's going to tell us what the fuck is going on.
They're stealing biochemical weapons.
DC2?
Also known as Project Terror, designed to take out an entire populace in a controlled landlocked area.
You were supplying it to them, so why'd they shut you out?
They found my supply under our feet, 10 stories down.
What about countering with atropine and PAM2?
Interferences with the neurotoxin delivering sets off the cell blaster in your gushing blood and push through every sacred hole in your body.
Yeah.
The only treatment is a regimented exposure to DC2, delays the negative effects.
They need it, like a drug, until they run out of it.
So we could all get infected.
But we found that small percentage of people are not affected by Project Terror, and within that small percentage lies the cure.
So how do you find this small percentage? Abby doesn't.
Release the gas. Oh, sorry, Ray.
Yeah, Abby doesn't answer. Ray realizes.
Release the gas into a population, say a small Texas town, landlocked, isolated, someplace no one's heard of, with no one or nothing around to miss.
Nothing to miss. What about my barbecue? People sure as hell miss that.
I don't eat meat.
JT narrows his eyes. He really doesn't like this guy.
Really, the secrets to a cure is within our bodies, the uninfected. Then what do? We could get infected.
Mexico. Put our backs against the ocean and defend ourselves from there.
No, we have to get back to my lab. This infection will spread all over the world to every man, woman, and child unless we create the antidote.
Just then, two soldiers appear. 2 more are stationed outside. They're wearing breathing masks.
Daddy,
McGraw looks at her. She struggles with the words.
you were right.
A moment passes between them, as if years of not speaking to each other has finally come to an end. I've waited all this time for you to say that to me. And now that you said it, I suddenly wish to God I've been wrong about it. Nah, I'm sorry, sweetie. I'm sorry, Angel.
You two, come with us.
Cherry and Dakota are escorted to the elevator. Wray tries to intervene and is kicked in the guts for the trouble. He falls to his knees, watching Cherry go. He winks at her as the elevator doors close. She sees it. Interior elevator night. They ride down together. The rapist leans against the opposite side of the wall. He pulls off his gas mask to speak.
Do you like Ava Gardner?
No.
Ava Gardner, do you like her?
Yeah.
You kind of look like Ava Gardner a little bit.
Cherry doesn't say anything. She just scowls.
I just paid you a compliment.
Cherry doesn't answer, just looks at the floor. The rapist reaches over and shuts off the elevator. It stops. Cherry gives the rapist her full attention now.
You got something to say to me?
Cherry doesn't answer.
I'm not going to ask you twice.
I don't got nothing to say to you.
Nothing to say, huh? That's funny. I could have swore you gave me a fuck you look. You want to say fuck you?
His face is starting to blister.
You know what this is?
A gun?
It's simplicity itself. You point at what you want to die. You pull the little trigger. Little bullet comes out here. Little bullet hits you right there. And you know what? You don't look like Ava Gardner no more.
Cherry calms herself. His face is getting really ugly. An ugly, fucked up hand reaches to pull her hair aside from her face.
Don't taunt me. I'm not one to be taunted. You got it?
Cherry shakes her head, yes.
Let me hear you say I got it.
I got it.
Good.
He puts his mask back on and starts the elevator up again. They ride in silence. His face goes back to normal.
Cool.
The rapist eyes her. Cut to interior quarantine cell night. JT eyes the soldiers and goes up to Wray.
What you doing, JT?
Figure it out. Heap salt. Blood is salty. My sauce just need more salt. Thickening agent. You eye that? You just that. Like the blood give it. Look, I'm telling you. A little bit of blood did the trick. JT looks a little off. Nervous like.
Don't do nothing stupid, JT. I got it covered.
Already has my sweat and my tears in it. All it needed was my blood. JT makes a move for one of the soldiers. Wray quick maneuvers the gun away from the same soldier, but JT gets shot in the gut by the second.
Drop the gun.
JT doubles over in pain. Wray stops wriggling.
JT?
Drop it. No. Wray stands and flips the gun so the barrel is pointing at himself. The gun's also upside down.
Don't shoot. You all right, JT?
Wray reaches over to hand the gun to the soldier, his eyes never leaving JT. The soldier reaches for the outstretched arm, and Wray suddenly does a Django move and pulls the trigger, shooting the soldier in the face without changing the gun's position. Wray and Abby work the guards right away, can keep them moving to the and keep moving on to the next few guards. JT crawls over and falls beside the sheriff. Ugh. Ugh.
JT, you all right, bro?
Well, shot. My diner's burned to the ground. I'm not all right, bro. You're not all right at all.
Wait here.
Wray and Abby head down to the elevator. Abby knows his way around. We sure will.
Wray,
Wray looks up at the sheriff.
go clean him up.
Wray nods as the elevator door closes. Interior, Cherry and Dakota's cell, night. The guards and rapist watch the girls who are huddled at the corner of the small cell.
She don't know it yet, but I dropped a couple of blues on her.
She's got one leg, man.
Easier access.
Got a point there.
Cherry looks over at Dakota holding her child in this other cell they're in.
You're a doctor?
Yes.
I wanted to be a doctor. Instead, I can do this.
She does a back bend on the floor.
Useless talent number 66.
Dakota smiles, goes back to petting her dead son's hair.
theory that at some point in your life you find use for every useless thing you've ever learned. It's like connecting the dots.
I don't know if I can be that optimistic right now. I'm spinning down that drain. No way out.
When you're caught in that spiral, you reach up.
What if there's nothing up there?
Just reach up.
Rapist comes forward to Cherry.
You're a dancer.
I'm retired.
Rapist grabs her by the hair, and lifts her to a standing position.
Well, I'm pulling you out of retirement.
The other soldier turns on the radio, and we hear Jungle Julie introduce a new classic, and Too Drunk to Fuck begins to play.
You're on stage, baby. Dance.
He chuckles and steps back, gun aimed at her.
Dance.
She starts to dance. First time since losing her leg. Her lack of coordination kills her. She keeps falling, and she keeps pulling her back up, and he's pulling her back up to go at it again. He looks down at Dakota, who's pleading with her eyes for her not to give up.
Come on now, break a leg.
The rapist laughs and howls. Cherry gathers her strength and grits her teeth and leaps into the air, spinning her peg leg in a roundhouse, breaking the peg in half across his face. He falls back to the ground. Cherry screams a slow-mo feral scream and, like a banshee, leaps into the air, twisting her body as she flies so that the pointed stub of her peg leg jams down into the rapist's eye. Blood spurts out from the wound and he shrieks. Interior tank depot night. Muldoon and his men enter the room where the biggest stash of gases are kept.
Two left. Get these upstairs and then we'll donate the entire floor. Detonate the entire floor.
Okay. The room is lined with devices, but something is wrong. Muldoon's gas supply suddenly runs dry. So do the two other men.
Refill.
Two other soldiers go to open one of the tanks, then the other. Nothing happens.
They've been emptied. Get Lewis the fuck down here.
Interior army base hallway. The two soldiers run off. They get about halfway down the hall before they're taken out by shapes in the shadows. Interior tank depot night. Muldoon hears this. He's alone in the chamber. He gets on his walkie and tries to call in more men. There's no answer from anyone he calls that should be in the immediate area. Abby and Wray walk in. Abby carries something slung over his shoulder.
Where are my men?
Right
Where are my men?
Like I said, right here.
Abby tosses Muldoon the bag. It's full and plump and squishy.
What the fuck is this?
They're balls, sweetheart.
Abby sheathes his knife.
Let us go.
Tell me why we should.
Muldoon removes his mask, looks them over. Note, this will be the equivalent of the Quint speech in Jaws.
We were on the trail of Bin Laden. We had his exact location. I put a bullet in his face, 2 more in his heart.
Wait, you killed Bin Laden?
So that was you.
Muldoon removes a severed finger from a necklace under his shirt, sitting pretty alongside his dog tags.
It was a surprise attack. Not just to their side, ours too. Turns out no one at the top really wanted him dead. Instead of medals of honor, we got face full of DC2. There was no cure. Until someone on the other side sold us a batch of this shit. If we could infect a large enough populace and experiment on its survivors, we'd find a cure.
Muldoon pours the balls out from the bag and onto the floor. Muldoon looks worse and worse.
So I'd keep my men alive. That's exactly what I'll do. Understand that I had no other choice.
Wray nods, raises his gun.
Neither do I, sir. God bless you in your service to this country.
In full creature mode, Muldoon thing just stands there, then lunges forward. Wray empties his gun into Muldoon's head. Interior, Cherry and Dakota's cell, night. The other soldier drags Cherry to the floor. The rapist stands, blood pouring from his eye. He opens his pants up.
Hold that bitch down.
The other soldier puts his foot on her hair, pinning her down, aiming the gun barrel at her face. The rapist's face begins to blister and warp. The rapist pulls his pants down around his thighs and stumbles slowly towards her. He's in agonizing pain and pissed as hell. Cherry reacts to what's between his legs with horror. The rapist stops and looks down to see what she's seeing. His dick is melting. He reacts with a deep bellow.
The gas! You need your gas!
The rapist doesn't listen. He's so pissed he keeps after Cherry, reaching out to her, walking faster now. Cherry starts struggling to get away. The other soldier tries to keep her pinned, but he is too freaked out by what he's seeing. He lets go of Cherry and runs for the discarded gas tank. Cherry kicks and squirms. We see the fully melted dick and then tilt up to the rapist, whose face is melting off as well. He looks horrifying. Then the soldier brings the gas tank over to the rapist, but before he can reach him, thunk, thunk, the soldier gets 2 needles launched into his leg. He looks at it with a what the fuck look on his face, and he looks up to see that Dakota is holding a silver needle gun contraption someone put together for her. She fumbles for another needle reload with a band stretched around her thigh that was hidden under her skirt.
Where'd you get that?
Useless talent number 37.
Dakota says this as she reloads and shoots the rapist in the eye. Her hands are much better.
That's just to take the sting off.
Unable to see, the rapist's arms are flailing, looking for Cherry. Dakota goes up to the other soldier with the deadened legs. He's so pissed he's cursing her and reaching for his gun.
After this one, you'll never see me again.
He looks up at her, and she fires another needle into his forehead. He falls over dead. Cherry and Dakota get out of there. The door opens. Cherry runs into Wray, and she kisses him madly. Abby storms in and checks out the place. He shoots the flailing other soldier.
I broke my leg.
I made you something.
He sits her down and rips off the broken wood leg.
I need you to help me. Help them.
Kisses her as he clicks a gun contraption into place onto her leg stump. He strokes it. Gun fetish close-ups as he arms it.
By becoming something.
She now has a sexy, badass machine gun peg leg that also has a grenade launcher.
I don't know if I can.
Well, I do. Nothing is certain. Anything is possible. Stand.
She stands into her iconic pose from the poster. Abby watches as the rapist fumbles for his gas mask. Abby kicks it over to him. The rapist grabs it and breathes into it deeply, trying to control his deformation. The gas gags him. He throws up a strange appendage that comes out of his mouth, but is still attached somewhere down his throat, falling onto the ground with a grotesque thud. It looks like something out of The Thing. He turns towards Cherry, looking very pathetic, but still angry. He growls a horrid sound.
Open that door, will you, baby?
Cherry kicks the rapist in the crotch. Her gun leg sticks there. She launches a rocket, blasting him backwards. It opens the back door that they needed to get into. Interior bad guy cell. They walk in on bad guys that are in the adjacent cell, surprising them. Boom. She blasts the first soldiers with a double kick, first front, then back, then a roundhouse. Wray has some moves of his own, takes one guy and holds him up. Cherry blows the smoke off of her gun barrel.
That will take you back upstairs with the others. We'll destroy the rest of the tanks and meet you up top.
Interior underground lobby night. Wray follows Abby, who leads the way. Cherry hits the elevator button with Dakota. She hears voices as the elevator approaches. They run and hide as quickly and as quietly as they can without making gun barrel noises on the metal grated flooring. The elevator opens. 4 big soldiers emerge. Cherry quickly but quietly hides alongside an old-fashioned Coke machine. Right across from her is a cigarette machine. On the other end of the hall is an elevator. One of the soldiers, Lewis, heads Cherry's way. The girls are in holding cell 6. Primed and ready. Dibs on the one with no legs. You boys can share the one with the broken hands. They laugh heartily. Lewis is now directly in front of Cherry with his back to her, bending down to buy a pack of cigarettes. As the soldiers talk, Cherry notices something. The cigarette machine has a mirror on it, and she's reflected perfectly in the mirror. Lewis is bending over, pulling the lever on the cigarette machine. Once Lewis rises, he's going to see Cherry in the mirror. The cigarettes drop. Cherry starts to panic. Lewis grabs a cigarette and starts to straighten up. We move into Cherry's face. Interior, prison visiting area, day. Cherry visits Wray in jail. Both are on opposite sides of chicken wire and glass. Wray is dressed in convict clothes. It's a few years earlier.
I slipped a bar of soap in a sock. I just lie cuddled up and the big fucking gorilla can't find me. So he turns to leave. I spring up and beat him 4 times in the back of the head, knocking down a few IQ points.
Wait a minute. He's in the room and you're in the room. How come he doesn't see you?
Old Indian saying, Bonita, eyes find eyes. Everybody can feel somebody's eyes on them. Your eyes are your source of energy. What they're really feeling is your energy directed at them. Close your eyes, cut off your energy. If you can just shut down, not only will people not see you, they'll see through you. One of the greatest cat burglars in the history of cat burglars taught me that.
Interior underground lobby, night. Close-up of Cherry. She closes her eyes and completely lets go of all tension. Lewis raises his head eye to eye with the mirror, including Cherry's reflection, but doesn't see a thing. In fact, as he continues a running dialogue with the soldiers on the other side of the hall, he goes over and gets a Coke from the Coke machine right next to Cherry, who looks like a totem pole, and he doesn't see her. Lewis joins the other soldiers on their side of the lobby. Cherry opens her eyes and lets out a quick breath. Right then, they come back in because they felt that energy. The soldier begins to turn around. She shuts her eyes. The soldier stops his turn, feels the energy gone, and continues his walk. Stops suddenly again, turns to go back, and is face to face with Cherry. Her gun leg now trained on him. She fires into his gut, sending him crashing into the wall. She takes his gun and aims both guns at the two soldiers. Her back is now to the first guy she shot. She shoves her foot barrel against the guy's neck, pinning him. She's now pointing 3 guns, 2 in her hands and her leg. The other leg is keeping her in perfect balance. She asks the 2 men she's facing a direction.
Which one of you has no problem showing me the way out of here?
First guy says nothing. The second, smaller, wimpier one raises his meek hand and he nods.
Good.
She shoots the other soldier, then the machine gun blasts the one behind her before roundhouse kicking him away, spraying bullets as she does so.
Move.
He leads her. Exterior army base tarmac, night. We see soldiers carrying tanks to carts with wheels for loading onto the chopper. The camera dollies past vehicles to a grate being lifted. Ray's head pokes out. He looks over to reveal the pocket bike in the foreground. Close on the soldiers as they hear the familiar whir of the tiny engine. They turn in time to see a wheelie riding Ray, firing into their tanks as he goes past and even under them. Abby is picking off tanks from a sniper position up on the catwalk structure. Gas emitted everywhere. Ray zips around crazily, firing at everything. He destroys all visible tanks and heads back to the quarantine cell. Abby joins him, firing at any soldiers headed their way. Interior quarantine cell, night. Cherry's elevator door opens and she leads the guide soldier out.
Who's this?
Our tour guide. Hey!
Soldier tries to make a move, but Cherry handles him just fine. A gun leg kick to the face, and then she shoves him into the elevator and sprays it with machine gun fire. The door closes as we get a glimpse of his bloody body. The front door opens and Ray and Abby slip back inside, shutting the door. Their prison is now their fortress.
You destroyed most of the tanks. Any that are left will get on our way to the helicopters. They have 2, big enough to take all of us. Who can fly?
Ray's holding up his own hand. No other answer.
Can anyone else fly a helicopter?
I can fly, but no way in hell I'm good at.
She lifts her machine gun leg up to his face.
Okay, cool, I'll fly.
She sits back down, or he sits back down, a nervous wreck. Ray smiles.
Killed their supply. But right now the soldiers are turning. Once that happens, they'll tear us apart whether they want to or not. We get out to our vehicles and we drive hard across the base. Stop them from loading the gas, then we fly ourselves to freedom. Any questions? Good. Get ready.
Ray goes over to JT. He's got the sheriff behind him. We're gonna stay here, Ray. He shows Ray his gut wound. Ray hands him something.
You'll take care of this for me then, JT?
Yeah. JT nods.
3 minutes. You're a good man, JT.
Yeah, best in Texas. The 2 men lay dying there. The sheriff is coughing. Cherry rolls the chopper bike up to face the door. Where did this come from? Who cares? Ray climbs aboard and starts the engine.
Hop on.
Cherry leaps atop the bike, hugging him from behind.
No, the other way.
She thinks a beat, then smoothly maneuvers herself onto his lap, facing him, legs wrapped around his waist.
No, the other way.
Cut to exterior army base, tarmac, night. The motorcycle tears out of the quarantine cell and onto the tarmac. All we see is Ray riding. Then he spins and faces the rear tire towards the oncoming soldiers. And as he skids, we see Cherry sitting on the seat behind him, but she's facing away from him, aiming the gun leg at the baddies and letting it rip. They go flying, chopped to pieces by her ruthless firepower. Battle ensues. The others exit the cell, firing their way out and following Ray's lead. They see a wall beyond them that they can't get to as easily. The others all take cover as the soldiers all seem to close themselves off behind the wall.
The helicopters are on the other side.
Make a run for it.
No, if we get all killed, there's no stopping this plague. Don't you get it? We're the antidote. That's got to be another way. Wait here.
Abby takes 2 survivors with him to the wall sections. Badass Abby music plays in the soundtrack as he takes control of the situation. Abby peeks around in one of the wall sections and gets his head shot clean off.
I don't suppose any of you are biochemical engineers.
Wray looks around at the ragged survivors. Clearly, none of them are. Wray looks down at Abby's body and any hopes of finding a cure.
We have to get over that wall.
Suddenly, grenades and mortar fire erupt around them. They take cover. Grenades explode all around them. We see soldiers deteriorate into creatures. They're becoming featureless, savage, and faces are melting. Interior, quarantine cell, night. The 2 men are still lying in the quarantine cell, side by side. It's quiet there.
I was thinking, could you build a new place right there where the old one was? You cook, I run the back.
Could work. You don't make the rent so high.
Share the recipe, we'll share the rent.
Start 250 degrees. Sheriff can't believe his ears. He pulls out a pad and pen.
I do it for how long?
12 pounds?
Sure.
12 pounds. 12 hours.
I'll be damned, wrapped in tinfoil, right?
No. No fucking foil.
Damn, okay, tomatoes fresh?
Damn.
No shit. Well, then from Italy, right? Best tomatoes come from Italy?
Oh, they get half their shit from China.
What?
Shh. Didn't hear it from me. I get mine from right here in Texas. Canned. Best shit.
Score me some?
Sure. Because we're brothers.
Thank you for this, JT. Thank you.
The pen falls from his bloody hand. Just remember, gotta take it to your grave. Sheriff's pen slows to a stop.
I think I can goddamn guarantee that.
The sheriff dies, pen and paper still in hand. JT holds the sheriff's hand. JT reveals that he has a detonator that Wray gave him. He laughs and presses it. Giant explosion takes out a quarter of the base. Exterior Army Base tarmac, night. Wray watches the explosion light up the sky.
That's our cue. Cherry, darling?
Cherry runs. She's almost blown up with the bombs all around her. She cocks her leg and blasts a grenade into the ground, which launches her entire body high into the air, catapulting her over the wall. While in the air, she assesses the area beyond the wall, spotting the main grenade tossers. She recocks her leg and fires a grenade into them, blowing them to shit. They had a look of oops as she was in the air. They tried to run. They tried to run even. They didn't make it. She lands face down as the others run towards her. She spins around, taking out their kneecaps, and as they fall to the ground, she continues her circle of gunfire, taking off their heads as well. She's out of ammo. She drops the clip out of her leg, plops a new clip standing up on the ground. As a truck with a Gatling gun on it rips towards her, firing, she lifts herself off the ground and drops her gun leg perfectly over the clip, jamming it inside. She flips her body over, firing the leg into the truck, blowing it up crazy and sending it launching over her. She uses her leg to fire herself out of harm's way, making her end up in a standing position. Again, another person is running up behind her. She kicks backwards while focusing on what's in front of her, and then fires into the remaining tanks. Gas starts to seep out, and as the soldiers approach, she tries to fire, all out of ammo.
Wray!
Wray appears on his pocket bike, gun scraping the ground, making sparks. He lifts it and fires at several soldiers, taking them out. The other survivors scale the wall or get around it. One soldier gets Cherry in his sights. Cherry looks at her leg, empty. She sees the knife, raises her leg again, sideways, flexes the knife, fires outward. Hard, crunch. The knife pins the soldier's head against the fuse box. The entire thing blows up, sparks igniting the soldier, then the gas tanks. She grabs sunglasses from a dead nearby soldier and puts them on her face to shield her eyes. The shards go past her. She doesn't flinch. We see the explosion in her glasses reflected. She stands in her go-go girl sunglasses, her leg lowering to the ground. The poster image again. Iconic. She limps out to the open area where Wray made his last stand. Ray's lying on the ground with huge chunks of shrapnel in him. It's over for him.
Wray?
She goes to him. Exterior Army Base, chopper, night. The survivors shoot their way to the choppers. Dakota packed inside with her son. She turns and sees Block waiting inside. They told me I'd find you here. So I was beginning to lose hope. He tries to touch her face with his hand. She backs up and falls.
Sorry. I'm sorry, but I lied.
His face is deforming with every step.
I did want to hurt you.
His face bubbles and distorts inhumanly. Tight on a shiny pistol, his quick hands pull the trigger and hammer back in succession. Blam, 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 blam. Block falls to the ground in a heap.
No more dead bodies for Daddy tonight.
Earl McGraw steps out of the shadows, spits tobacco. Never liked that son of a bitch.
Quick draw, McGraw.
McGraw holsters his gun with a fancy flourish. The others climb inside. Skip makes his way to the pilot seat. The crazy babysitter twins are hassling him in their panic to hurry up and figure out the controls. One is even trying to fly the chopper herself.
Shut up. Sit down and don't fucking touch anything.
He starts up the copter. We see zombie soldiers running towards them.
Is everybody in?
The last survivors climb aboard. The chopper hovers and then Skip dips it so that it's angled in a way that the blade chops up anyone that runs towards them. Very effective. He gives it gas and flies toward the retreating zombie soldiers with the copter at the same angle. Side view shot as the copter runs over the zombie soldiers, the blade chopping them into bloody pulps as it overtakes them all. The blood and guts splat across the windshield of the chopper. One of the babysitters turns on the windshield wipers. Exterior army base, tarmac, night. Cherry tries to pull out the shrapnel.
Hold still.
He knows this is the end.
No, leave it.
I'm not leaving you like this. Motherfuckers around here eat roadkill.
Wray laughs. Coughs blood.
Finally made you laugh. See? I'm funny. Now hold still.
He stops her.
It's the only thing keeping me warm.
Wray.
You have to go on. You have to lead those who survive. Take the copter. Go to the sea. Put your backs to it. Protect yourselves there.
2 against the world, Wray. Remember? 2 against the...
He covers her mouth.
Will be. I promise.
His hand slides down to her belly.
I never miss.
The flames from the destroyed vehicles are crawling towards them.
Don't worry, baby. You'll find your way.
He dies in her arms.
Reach up. Reach up.
The copter hovers above her. A line is lowered from her head. She leans over and kisses him, flames getting closer. Cherry's eyes never leave Wray. She simply reaches up. Close on her hand, reaching and grabbing the line. Dakota signals for Skip to take her up. The copter lifts, taking Cherry with it. Her eyes stay on Wray as she floats up into the night sky. We see her POV of Wray lying amongst the ruin. The fire overtakes him. Exterior, sandy dunes, sunset. Close on Cherry as she rides a horse. Camera cranes up to a sandy dune to reveal a caravan of survivors, mostly on foot, following behind Cherry, who's riding the only horse. She rides in the barren desert of the new earth, a turban on her head. She's leading this new batch of survivors somewhere.
It's like you said it would be, Wray. I'm like you said I'd be. I find the lost, the weary, those who have no hope. I find them, and I lead them to the land we've made for ourselves, the land by the sea.
We see the coast in the distance. Beautiful, epic. Kids are playing off to the side of her horse. She watches them. Then a zombie rises from the ground with a shriek. It was waiting for them. She kicks her leg out and fires. Freeze frame on her as she blows off its head. Hold for a beat. Then the movie continues. They cross over a sandy hill, revealing a pristine Mexican coastline. A breathtaking sight. All the survivors and the gutted chopper used as the basis of a small fortress live peacefully at the water's edge. The group with Cherry runs to join the other survivors.
It's beautiful, Wray. She's beautiful. I wish you could see us two. It's just like you said it would be. 2 against the world, baby.
Cherry is wearing a papoose on her back. A baby's in it, facing out, hood over her head.
2 against the world.
Cherry turns her head and we freeze on the image of the two of them. Slight post-push on it as the image fades. End credits. And that is the rockin' first half of Grindhouse. Thank you so much for joining us on this one. And tune in just a few days when we take on the back half of it, Death Proof. It'll be a fun one. We got a lot of these people coming back. So we'll see you then. Thanks for watching.